Hi everyone, my name is Karna Sunby. I'm life coach at Peak Health and Wellness in Missoula, Montana, and I'm a master practitioner of NLP, which stands for Neuro Linguistic Programming. I've been working with clients for over 20 years using NLP to help people deal with issues like PTSD, trauma, stress, anxiety. So I've learned a lot about stress over the years, and we are living in a very stressful time right now. So I wanted to do a talk about the impact of stress on your body and give you some tools that perhaps will reduce the fear or anxiety that you may be feeling. These are extreme times in the entire world, and people are feeling confused and anxious. Even in normal times, people feel fear and stress when faced with the unknown. And now there are so many unknowns facing us with this pandemic than ever before in our lifetime. We're getting important information from our government and the media about the symptoms of the disease, about social distancing, about the impact of this virus on every aspect of our life. But I wanted to give you some information about the emotional impact, the impact of potentially feeling so much stress every day. So let's talk about it. What is stress? Stress is what you feel when you have to handle more than you're used to. We get stressed when we believe that we don't have the time, the resources, the knowledge, or the confidence to deal with a situation. We feel stressed when we feel out of control. And now we're in a situation where none of us have control over most of the everyday things of our life, and the resources that we normally depend upon just aren't available for us. So what happens to your body when you're stressed? When you're stressed, your body responds as if you're in danger. It releases hormones, stress hormones, cortisol, which is known as the main stress hormone, and this speeds up your heart and your breathing. It constricts your blood vessels and raises your blood pressure and gives you a burst of energy. This is called the fight or flight response. It's a basic short-term survival response which is triggered when we perceive something that we think is a threat. When we perceive this threat, our brain then releases the cortisol that prepares the body to either fly away from the threat or stay and fight it. The fight or flight response is great. We really need it. It can save our lives. It's meant to help us deal with short-term, life-threatening events. But it becomes a problem when we feel stress every day. When stress happens too often or it lasts too long, it can have really negative effects on our body. Things like hypertension, heart problems, headaches, digestive problems, diabetes, chronic neck and back pain, depression, anxiety, insomnia, many problems. But the main effect that I want to draw your attention to today is this. Stress can weaken your immune system, making you more susceptible to getting a virus. When your body is filled with these stress hormones, they shut down the immune system to conserve the body's energy for fight or flight. Stress hormones are so effective at compromising the immune system that when people have organ transplants, guess what doctors give them? They give them stress hormones to prevent the immune system from rejecting the foreign transplant. This is how powerful these stress hormones are in diminishing your immune system. And now we're in a time when we need to boost our immune systems. In this time when we need to boost our immune systems, stress can wipe out our immune systems. So you can see how the fear of the coronavirus could perhaps be even more deadly to you than the virus itself. So what can we do? We can stay healthy with good nutrition, exercise, take vitamins and supplements, and be aware that even if you do contact the disease, it'll probably manifest more like a cold with a high fever than anything else. Knowing all of this, I think it's important to look at how can we reduce our stress and therefore keep our immune system strong. As I was saying earlier, it's that feeling of loss of control that causes stress. So let's figure out what you can control as you learn to live with social distancing and staying at home. First, structure your day. Wake up at a normal time and get dressed. Don't stay in your PJs all day. And maybe create some kind of schedule for the day. Secondly, if you're able to work from home, create a workspace where you can have some quiet, you can focus, and you can get some work done. Thirdly, structure time and space for aerobic exercise. This will keep the good hormones, the endorphins, flooding in your body, and it'll help ward off depressions. We're so lucky to be living in Montana during this time of social distancing because we can be outdoors. Going for a brisk half-hour walk or a run can make you feel better. It'll clear your head, boost your endorphins, and reduce the cortisol. Research has found that cardio exercise can lift your mood for up to 12 hours. And if you walk in the beauty of nature, the rhythm and repetition of walking in nature has a tranquilizing effect on your brain, which also decreases anxiety and improves sleep. So the whole family can benefit from going for a walk. If you can't be outdoors, find some stairs and go up and down these flights of stairs, or do some stretching exercises, do neck rolls or shoulder shrugs. Just move your body and get the good hormones flowing. If you're, lots of gyms and yoga studios are putting exercise classes online during this time that they have to be closed. And if you're a member of the Peak, you can check out their website for online exercise classes. Number 4, make time for mindfulness. There has never been a better time to practice meditation, yoga, tai chi, anything that helps you feel more peaceful and more mindful. If you've never done meditation, you might want to start with something like guided visualization or guided meditation. Just Google guided meditation and you'll find many choices. Number 5, do deep breathing and muscle relaxation. Google breathing exercises to reduce stress, and you'll find lots of exercises that'll help you reduce stress quickly by simply breathing deeply, and it'll help promote sleep. These are things that you can do as a family, and you can help your kids take care of themselves, and you can make it fun. Number 6, structure time in your day for distraction from all of this coronavirus epidemic and for enjoyment. Be creative and figure out how can you most enjoy this time of self-distancing with your family. Books, games, movies, music. How about dancing? Your kids might have a blast dancing with you. Maybe a hot bubble bath. Remember adult coloring books that were so popular a couple years ago? Coloring is a real stress reliever for kids and adults. Be creative and figure out how to self-soothe during this time of being at home so much. Help your kids tap into their creativity and learn to play more than just on their video games. Number 7, limit the time that you listen to the news and turn the news alerts on your phone off. The news changes these days from hour to hour and from minute to minute if you're watching the stock market. And all of this news is about things that you can't control. And being out of control is what causes stress. So give yourself a break from the news. And remember that whatever you're focusing upon before you go to sleep at night is what your unconscious mind is going to stay focusing upon as you're sleeping. It's kind of like what your unconscious mind is going to be marinating in all night long. So think about this. Do you really want to watch the news right before you go to sleep? Number 8, and the last one, is be grateful. Even in challenging times, there are still so many things to be grateful for. Your perspective, the way you see things, where you come from, is the one thing, and perhaps the only thing in life that you ever have control over. So if you're staying home much of the time now, you have more time. Use this time to become more conscious of how you're thinking. Train yourself to be positive. Train yourself to see the glass more as half full than half empty. The practice of being grateful increases the dopamine production in your brain, which makes your brain want more of this. And if you believe in the power of prayer, start your day with prayer, or start your day with a gratitude exercise. Think of 5 or more things that you have to be grateful for in your life as you begin the day. And before you go to sleep at night, think of 5 or more things that you can appreciate that have happened during the day. Your brain likes it when you think thoughts of gratitude because it feels good. And the more you're grateful for, the more you'll find to be grateful for, and the better that you'll feel. So these are some of the ways that you can create structure and control in your life as we're staying at home, practicing social distancing. You'll find more information. You'll find a list of 26 science-based ways that you can reduce stress these days on my website, which is interaccess.org, and on the Peak website. Some ways that, so these things that I've been talking about are ways that you can create structure and control in your life. So now let's talk about our social selves. Now that we're more isolated, this can lead to loneliness and anxiety because as human beings, we need social interaction. This is especially true for the elderly and for children. So quell this anxiety by figuring out some kind of social bonding. Use your phone to talk, to actually talk on. Call the people that you love. Just hearing their voice may be of comfort to you and especially your children. And you may find yourself feeling more connected than ever. And you can use a free app like FaceTime, WhatsApp, Zoom, Skype to have face-to-face interaction with the people who matter most to you in life. This is especially important for the elderly and for our kids. And speaking of kids, what's the best way to talk to your kids about this virus? What's the best way to make sure that they have everything they need to handle it? How can they help them? How can you help them deal with this life that is so not normal for them anymore? No school, no play dates. Their whole world has been turned upside down. We're in a situation which is very scary for adults. We can't even imagine how scary this is for kids. Parents, you need to be the source of reassurance that your children need right now. Kids, just like all of us, will do better when they have information. But for kids, the information needs to be simple so that they can understand it. You need to talk to your kids about the coronavirus. It's a subject you can't avoid because they're hearing about it everywhere, and you really don't know what they're hearing. So first, ask them what they know about it so that you can dispel the myths, and then explain the facts to them. For younger children, you can say something like this: coronavirus is a big word for something we usually call the flu. This is a new flu, and a lot of people are getting it. So we want to make sure that we don't get it and that we don't accidentally pass it on to anybody else. I'm taking care of you and our family so that we won't get this. That's why we're staying home. And we want to make sure that older people like Grandma and Grandpa don't get this flu either. So we want to do our jobs. We want to do our part by making sure that we stay safe and healthy, and we don't get anyone else sick by giving them these germs either. You can say something like that. The younger the child, the simpler the language. It's so important for our parents to be the source of confident reassurance right now. I know from studying NLP that our mind, our main core beliefs are formed when we're really young children. Most of our beliefs are formed before the age of 3, especially the beliefs about how safe we are in our world. When we're born, we enter this world with a clean slate, but we're very impressionable and naturally very inquisitive, and we look for meaning in everything that happens to us, all the events in our lives. We human beings are like little meaning-making machines. So how do we form our beliefs? Our parents and our environment play a big part in molding the core beliefs that we form at a very young age. If you are a parent who's freaking out and has the news on all the time, your children, even your baby and toddlers, are being affected by this. I know from my years of working with NLP that many of our childhood imprints are developed at a very young age. During 9/11, psychologists realized at some point that young children exposed to lots of news broadcasts were believing every time they saw these images over and over again on TV of a plane hitting a building, to them, they thought that it was a new plane hitting a new building every time. Why would they think anything other than that? It was terrifying for us as adults, 9/11. It must have been even more terrifying for our children who had no concept of a film replay. So be careful of what your kids are being exposed to right now. Your confident reassurance may make a world of difference in their current and future emotional health. The experts are telling us that being at home is not like a snow day for your kids. Your kids can't have their friends over for a play date, but make sure that they can remain in contact with their friends in some way, like say FaceTime or something, where they can have this one-on-one, face-to-face interaction. Kids need social connection too. Kids also feel stressed when they don't feel in control in their lives. So give them a way to take some control. Teach them how to wash their hands. Teach them to cough into their sleeve and do bump elbows so that they feel that they're also doing something to help. The coronavirus is changing our world, and it will change us as individuals. I think it's important for us to be aware of who we want to become as a result of going through these tough times. I've worked with many clients over the years who have had really challenges in their lives, and sometimes I say to them, what are the movies that we like to watch? What are the books we like to read? The stories we like to hear about? Are they stories of people who sail through life with very few ups and downs? No. We love the movies. We like the stories about people who have had enormous challenges in their lives and have risen above them, who have overcome these challenges. These people are our heroes. Today we have so many heroes, doctors, nurses, first responders that are making heroic efforts to respond to the massive needs in our world. I think that we all have the opportunity to become heroes right now at this time in our history. Quiet, unsung heroes in our own homes. Heroes because of what we do and also what we don't do at this time right now. The solution to the problem of the coronavirus requires us to care about others, especially the most vulnerable in our communities. It requires us to work together and to be part of something bigger than just me and my own desires. It requires us to behave in ways that are for the greater good. You know the saying, necessity is the mother of invention. There are so many companies right now that are inventing things. People are sewing masks, covers for masks to make medical masks last longer. There are distilleries that are learning how to create hand sanitizer instead of vodka. There are so many ways that people, human beings, are responding, are getting creative. This is a time for all of us to get creative, not to get depressed. It's a time for us to figure out how to respond to the needs of our families, of our communities. There's never been a greater need for us to be conscious and to act with kindness, compassion, creativity, and love. Because our actions, each of our actions, have a large impact now on our families, our friends, our communities, and literally on every person that we come in contact with. We will get through this, and life will be normal again someday, but we will also be forever changed by going through this coronavirus together. So I ask you, how do you want to change or grow or rebalance or become more conscious as a result of this experience that we're all having. I think it's really important that we all stay as positive as we can during this time so that we don't sink into depression or anxiety. And as I mentioned, you can find a list of 26 ways to relieve stress during these times on my website, which is inneraccess.org, and it's also on the Peak website. I hope that some of these ideas will help you stay more relaxed and positive during this time. I'm also going to be doing other talks in the future on ways to cope with the coronavirus, and I'd love to hear from you. How are you doing? How can I help? Are there challenges that you have? Are there topics that you'd like me to cover in future talks? If so, please email me and let me know. I'm at karna@inneraccess.org. I'm also available for one-on-one sessions. I always offer a free 30-minute consultation to new potential clients, and I'm continuing to do that. And I've worked with people all over the world using phone, Skype, Zoom, and I'm continuing to do that. Now I'm offering sessions on the phone or Skype on a sliding scale so that anyone who would like to can afford to have a session with me. So I hope this has been helpful. Please email me again, I said, with ideas for any future talks you might want to hear, or if you'd like to book a free consultation or a session with me. And I just hope that you will take care and stay well and be safe. Thank you.